Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's up, world? Just getting my mic situated. Decided to kind of start the stream 2 minutes early today. See myself on TradingView. I don't see myself on YouTube just yet. Looks like we're buffering, we're loading, doing something funky. Market's looking slightly grim today, right? Seeing all sorts of selling all over the place. Like, stock market looks pretty horrid, right? BTC, I'm looking at BLX, like the index on the 2-day, because the weekly on BTC USD was looking pretty daunting, right? Just last stream I was bullish, and I'm thinking, hey, like, ETH looks like it's gonna break out on the weekly, and just remove all this, all indicators, all drawings. So yeah, welcome back to another chart mastery session. I'm gonna go through a lot of charts today. First, I'm gonna cover the basics, BTC and Ether, and from there we're gonna hop into stocks and stuff. ETH doesn't look as bad as BTC does. Actually, like, comparatively speaking, if you look at the weekly chart, we're still above the consolidation zone as opposed to BTC, right? Let's pull that up. I guess we're still in that consolidation zone on BTC. Even last stream I was saying, hey, they're showing like different 61.8s. How you want to look at this? Think if we're gonna get a bounce, a real significant bounce, right? It's gonna have to be soon, right? If we get a continuation bounce off this last low, then I'd be optimistic, right up 38,792, because we're below the internal 61.8. We're below the 786, right? So these charts need to start turning around now, or else we're probably headed in for like a pretty rough weekend. That being said, I just pulled up a piece of news. It's not quite news yet. It's like a rumor. European Union to ban Bitcoin trading and proof of work mining urged by Swedish government. So it's a little falsely written headline. Basically, the Swedish government's pushing for the ban of Bitcoin trading and mining in Europe. It seems to be more of an eco push, right, than anything else. Just like for the ecosystem. Something about power consumption and mining. So I don't know if that's going to black swan the market. I hope it doesn't black swan the market. Actually, if it does, like, it would be a opportunity to buy lower, right? Like, it would be a post-consolidation liquidity grab, and we can finally get out of this muck, right? We can do something like that and get out of the bullshit, or, head in for the real bear. But like these bounces, they didn't quite look ready to short. Even like if you go to the daily chart and you zoom in on this last bounce, like that wasn't even a 50% retrace the last 2 days. Actually, it was a 50%, right? Which is really bearish. So not quite sure to make out what I can make out of BTC, right? The only thing I'm getting like clear levels on right now is the ES, which is the S&P, and it's at the 61.8 right now. Like we need to see the market start turning and turning fast, right? Like last stream, I'm like, hey, like this thing is breaking out. It seems like a slow breakout, and it seemed like a bull flag. Right, we did have a flag, and it was bouncing off the 61, up to 50%. Right, so we had this last stream, right? And I'm like, yeah, this looks good, and then, bam, kind of like turned the F around. So I'm saying it looks grim. I think based on like SPY price, I think 429.9. is likely the bottom, right, for today. I'd want to see a bounce there. If markets if you continue selling off here, it's going to get real aggressive, real ugly. And at that point, we're looking at, like exploration further lows. So not super exciting. I'm still not long. So we'll see how this is gonna unfold. I actually added to my TQQQs today, thinking that there's still room for a squeeze. Like if you look at the QQQ, it's not looking the most appetizing. These dips aren't. What are you guys thinking? So I got some chart requests on YouTube. So yeah, what do you make of this selling? Like 3 weeks of selling after 100-something days of down. Anyways, so for me today, I think my eyes are on the SPY, right? If we get a turn at 429.9, it's still like early in the day. We should be starting to see that turn soon. We should see some kind of reaction here, and that could literally be the catalyst to make us move up. And what's pushing markets down, or what would probably stop markets from selling, is more good earnings. Like looking at Tesla, it really held up on positive earnings, right? Looking at like the dailies, it's not looking as grim as other things. If you look at like Google, I don't think they even had the announcement of earnings just yet, but it's, this is what's dragging everything down almost, is Google. It's got such a big impact on indices. Can I look at PYR, DOT, GRT? Hey Ahmed, if I'd recommend, if it's a altcoin, you put USDT next to it. If it's a stock, you just list the ticker. I currently have a bearish bias on everything, right? Just because the markets look really grim today, and I'd want to see the bigger names turn. But if this is going to turn, I think 11.67 should be the bottom. Like, this should not make a new low. If this makes a new low, then it's probably going to shit the bed, right? And that's going to be basically everything that's not, everything. .USDT. We definitely want to keep an eye on the majors, right? Because I don't think any of these have enough momentum of their own to break a correlation. The only thing that can save the market is Luna bottoming again. We already saw that Luna bottom take place. Not a big fan of DOT. Like, this consolidation doesn't look like anything sexy, right? This chart right now. When I say not a big fan, I'm not talking about the project itself. I'm talking about the chart. 1784 should be support, right, based on this fib extension. We could go a little lower, right, but this should hold support. If it doesn't, then like, if this starts dumping, then I'd want to look at 12.38, $9, $7, that range if that starts dumping, because I don't know if 15 is going to hold again. GRT, USDT. This looks ready to go lower, in my opinion. Problem is, like, when you see like a initial listing and then the price just goes up, very rarely will it not want to go below listing price, right? That's even with like IPOs. Like, even stocks will do that. What else? Anybody have any other chart suggestions? Let's look at Luna. Luna seems to be the only thing that's actually in an uptrend, and I don't know if even it's still intact. Let's take a look at that. Super clean 61.8 bounce off 76. Like, super fucking clean. Couldn't get cleaner, right? And it was pretty solid. Problem is now everything else is selling off. What the heck is Luna doing? Well, let's fib it. Alright, bounced off the 50, not even a 61.8. At this point, I'd want to see what this consolidation does, and if this dips to another 61.8 again, you might want to long it, alright? Because, I mean, this is the only thing that's been consistently a gainer, right? It's the only in, I think 80, 84 would be the spot to interact with it. I have alerts here, you guys can see them, right? 85, 84. What's up, Delilah? BNB USDT. Oh, wow. It's had quite the haircut. It's still looking like Ether and BTC. I think it's probably within that correlation. We do know that it likes to hedge in certain downturns of the market, right? Like, I feel like what CZ, back when CZ was in charge of Binance, they would like pump it while other things are dumping, kind of like a flight to safety type thing, and it's like basically using it to increase their holdings by like my conspiracy theories. Anyway, let's hop in. Let's extend the COVID move. I don't know at this point, right? Like something like BNB. I don't know what the next catalyst is, what the next move is. I'm not keeping up with it. Chart to me looks like it should test 501, but it hasn't, right? Like everything basically did a 50% bearish retracement, which is not very bullish, right? We want to see a 61.8. Looking back at the SPY, I just want to keep going back to the SPY today. 430.15. You should see it. I think if we don't see a turn here, I think everything's gonna be like risk off, aka everything's gonna dump. All right, what else do you guys have? Any other ticker recommendations? Any other things, charts you want me to look at? BTC getting closer to that 61.8. What about Ether? Look at the 4 hour. Give me these last lows. This was our last bounce. Is it 50? Yeah, I still think the SPY is gonna determine what happens, right? Literally, for all markets. Look at Shopify for Cooley. Is that an altcoin? I'm kidding. Oh, geez, Shop dumping again. That's the thing, a lot of tech is taking these hits. We didn't even have like complete 61.8. I was looking to interact with it just a little higher, right? 801.06 instead of 758. I think next level, you can see it based on my previous extension, is going to be that 435 for Shopify. 1 SU support there. Jeez, man, look at it. Bounced off 508, failed to hold 634. So at this point, I mean, what? I don't know if I want to keep altering that fib. Right here it looked really good. What about down here? Maybe 444, 435 wick. And hold support. If I'm right about the SPY holding here, we should start seeing things kind of bottom out and flatline before they turn back around. Looking at like Netflix. I know it was brought up in Discord a few times. I'm not going to interact with it just yet. I think we're going lower, like the 185 zone. Is that right? 180. I'm guessing that's an alt. Well, it's 0.11, not really 1 anymore. We should see support here, right? You see it? We've seen it before. We saw the top come up over here. What else is happening? Oh, I like these better. At this point, looking at some of these alts, I think we're probably due some kind of liquidity grab on a lot of these tokens, right? Where like they dump down to like 5 cents or 0.035 or something on like a black swan type thing. But this isn't screaming bullish to me at all. DYDX, Clorox, CLX. Crazy. We thought Clorox would do so good during the pandemic, right? Meanwhile, 2020 hit, and it basically shot the bed for 2 years, and now we're seeing some kind of up move. Would I want to short it? Would I want to long it? Would I not want to touch it at this point? So we got earnings coming up in a few weeks. This was going to follow the rest of the market and continue down. I think 154.9 is the top, right? I don't know what's moving it right now. Is Elon buying them too? Is Elon putting a bid for Clorox? That was a joke. All right, let's look at DYDX. Oh no, it's not. It's really hard to like chart these when there's really like no clear swings to fib, right? Like all this noise, I don't trade it. Yeah, I can't get a reading on these charts until there's like some proper swings. I'd say 4.4. If this doesn't hold its bottom, I'd look for $4 smack on the head, like right there, or else the lower, it's gonna look really ugly. Now, interestingly, like I see a descending broadening wedge, right? Like I see this. It looks like a possible bullish formation. It should start turning at some point. We haven't even seen like a bullish 61.8 continuation inside of it, right? Or it's bullish 786, which is what you want to see in these formations. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Delilah. Christian Invest. So my fib numbers are you're just seeing price, you're not seeing the level, right? And that's what's up with them. I don't share the levels that I use in terms of extensions and retracements with just like publicly. I do that in like private workshops, and I do that in Discord, but I don't do it just like all over. The red one is the 61.8, and the green one is 38.2, and that's all I can disclose. And like, why do I do that? Because I worked really hard to figure out some extensions, right, and certain levels and stuff. So like your basic fib's only gonna have 4 extensions, right? Ours go a lot higher, and like a 63K target top, right? We had that on BTC from previous extensions, so yeah. All right, fam. You got any other chart requests? I do have a Fib workshop in the links if you want to learn about my Fib numbers in our link tree, right? I have it's like a 3-hour Fib workshop, and it's in there. So we do want to see that 430 hold. Like this is all I'm looking at for today, because this is gonna determine, I think, if the market's gonna go back in the risk on or even fake us up, right? Or just completely shit the bed to 396. Nifty 50. I wanna do something a little different on this one. I'm gonna throw out my moving averages. So Nifty sort of bottomed when the S&P didn't quite get that nice clean touch. This actually looks decent. It's still above the 50-day MA, which is sort of bullish. Let's remove indicators now and let's fib it. Drawings. I think this looks like a 50. Yeah, so what we see here is a 50% retracement, right? So pumped up and then pulled back 50% of that pump. I don't really monitor how the Nifty correlates with the ES or the NQ. Probably should, but I don't trade it. So that being said, it's tricky, man. It's a tricky one. That initial bounce off the 50% looked good. I think if it does come back down, and if the S&P holds the 61.8, then we're going to probably see something like this come down here and then go back up. But usually when we see something like that, it's a pretty positive sign. 50% bullish continuation. You bet, Christian. You guys, anybody got any other questions or chart recommendations or anything before I wrap it up? You won't be able to interact with me live until Monday, right? You'll catch me in Discord over the weekend. All right, fam bam. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's stream. I'll catch me. We can catch each other on Monday, same time, same place. In the meantime, check out the links in the descriptions, right? We've got the link tree. You can hop into Discord, follow us on Twitter. If you want to check out my Fib workshop, there's a link to it there. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. That bounced because at least 30 minutes average closing. Thanks, Delilah. Oh, well, I came at the 50, right, which is good. Let's look at the spine once again just before I close it off. So we're getting that bounce on the spine, right? So I think I'm gonna pile into some UPRO calls here, right? This would be this is the spot, guys. If we're gonna see a bottom on stocks, like, this is fucking it. And if it's not it, excuse my French, it's gonna be really bad. So this wouldn't be a bad time to buy some calls, and like I'd probably shop some UPROs. And since we're only seeing 50% bounces, like some UPRO 58.5s, right? And I'd sell it right when it gets there, call it a scalp, or at least sell half. So that's what I'm gonna do. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. I gave you my only play for the day. And catch me on Monday, right? Same time, same place. Hop in a Discord. Check out links in bio.